you know this subject are at the core of our vision, especially when it comes to international development. Actually, with MEMORIST, we operate in about 25 countries, and we have had several experiences in Africa, in Senegal, Mali, Ethiopia, Sudan, or South Africa, for instance. And when we work in those countries, one of our priorities is to really work hand in hand with local communities and to transmit our skills. Because the important is that at the end of the day, they are able to preserve and to showcase the heritage on the long run. Today we are going to share some insights based on our experience on South Africa. We were supposed to have Freddy Kihahe with us today on the stage. He's the manager of our restoration workshop in South Africa. But, well, we have been fighting for weeks to obtain the administrative document we needed, and we didn't succeed. So we are going to share a video, and you will join us for the Q&A on streaming. Before yielding the floor to Théophile, I would like just to give you a brief overview of who we are. So MEMORIST is a pool of 5 French companies which are experts in preserving, digitizing, and promoting cultural heritage. And one of those companies is La Reliure du Limousin, or expert when it comes to bookbinding and to restoring old documents. I'm going to share a short video because it is the best way to let you see a bit what we do. So, as you will see, we work on any kind of cultural heritage, whether it be tangible or intangible. We work on the digitization of building, archaeological sites, artworks, audiovisual content, photography, textile, well, everything. We restore it. So this is La Reliure du Limousin. And this is a good example that shows that we use both very traditional techniques and very innovative technologies also, because we can, like that, digitize some artworks, but we can then create tools to share all the data with researcher professional, also with any kind of audience. As you can see, with augmented reality, with all those immersive experiences. Here is a game in a castle, for instance. So it's very diverse. We also have a studio where we take pictures. This is all the part dedicated to the restoration of old films, old movies, and to the digitization of audiovisual contents. Notre Dame, one of our company, Art Graphique et Patrimoine, is the only one in the world which had digitized the wooden framework before the fire. And without the digital twin, we couldn't have rebuilt in the same way. So this is MEMORIST. Théophile.
Thank you, Adèle. I'm glad to be here with you all. I'm going to speak just shortly about La Reliure du Limousin. So I'm the CEO of this French company that was created in 1950, a very ancient company who has built its reputation in the field of conserving, restoring cultural heritage, written cultural heritage, and also traditional bookbinding techniques. So it's a fascinating company with 70 craftsmen and women who every day use craft technique to conserve, restore old documents, books, parchments, graphic documents. And so the idea of MEMORIST is to give and make available this expertise and the expertise of all the other companies that Adèle mentioned to different countries over the borders of France. And so that is the MEMORIST initiative, and that is what we have been bringing through in South Africa across 2 projects that we'll speak about.
We're here at Iziko National Museums of South Africa, and behind me is an artwork titled Mutoka, which is a rock art replica from a rock art site close to Harare in Zimbabwe. MEMORIST South Africa and a contingent of our French experts came to Iziko's aid to restore and conserve this historic artwork so that it may once again be exhibited.
So last year we worked on this beautiful artwork that was hosted at Iziko South African National Museum in Cape Town. We were called by Iziko to conserve and save this document that had not been exhibited since 94 years. The document was in the attic and it was completely teared, and we had to work and restore, conserve the documents with appropriate techniques. It was it was very difficult because the document is huge. It's 7 meters by 2. And we had to work inside the museum with little equipment. What is funny is that a copy of this document is actually right now exposed at the
Musée de l'Homme, the exhibition
Musée de
praised so
l'Homme,
many
right.
for those who have seen it.
So we built up a team with French experts from La Reliure du Limousin and local people from the museum, also local conservators. And the team we built was mixed, and we worked all together on the document with security, with the right techniques, and the conservation was done hand in hand by people from France and people from South Africa. And that is the idea of MEMORIST and the idea of the work we do abroad. It's not to do the job for the local communities, but empower the local communities so that they are able to master the skills, learn the techniques, and do the job themselves. And if in 5 years we can be of no use to them, then we will have succeeded in our approach, because we want them to be able to work on their own cultural heritage perfectly with whatever they need. But it's also a give and take, because we also learn from them a lot. And so the second example of what we did in South Africa and a project that is fascinating is the University of Cape Town. Maybe you know that in April 2021, a dramatic fire destroyed the University of Cape Town libraries. You must imagine that about 70,000 books and pamphlets from the African Studies collection were destroyed. 3,000 films about Africa were destroyed. Hundreds of documents that were amazing. And so in 2022, people and volunteers helped put in crates whatever was found in the ashes. Everything that was wet and soaked was frozen and put in cold rooms. And in 2022, UCT appointed MEMORIST to help conserve, digitize, build best practices inside the place where they had stored all the remains of what was left of the libraries. And we've been doing this work for 1.5 years. It has now stopped because of a problem of funding. UCT Libraries and UCT is living a bit of a crisis right now, and they have big funding issues. And you must imagine that everything that was saved by the fire and that was put into cold storage is now at risk to be removed because of lack of funding. And so there is a risk that they will lose even more collections. And so the images that you see here are from within the UCT locals, the UCT places where we trained local people, members from the libraries of UCT, and people that we hired for the project to the right techniques. And we built an on-site conservation and digitization unit.
Maybe just to add something about local people that we hired, those people have no relation with or field with cultural heritage, with restoration, or mainly for most of the people, they didn't have a job. So for them, it's really something important in their life. And actually, you will listen to Freddy, who was working for Uber Eats, so different from what he has learned with Théophile and his team. And so this is really our challenge, to recruit people who are going to discover a new field and who are going to participate to the preservation of their heritage, because it's their heritage. We're here with expertise that we want to transmit. So
before
here
joining
is Freddy.
MEMORIST, my previous professional was teaching. I was teaching accounting in my country of original, Republic Democratic of Congo. And when I came in South Africa, I had a partnership with Uber Eats. My experience in the restoration and preservation started at UCT. It was a privilege for me to work on the archivist document. The second experience, it was at Iziko. It was also another privilege for me to participate in the restoration of a huge archaeological map. With MEMORIST, the practical skills that I've learned is how to restore the broken document, because when I started, I knew nothing. Now I'm capable to restore the damaged document. I'm able to managing people, and also I build a relationship with the clients. Talking about my recruitment, Theo did approach me, and he spoke to me about this particular project. And for me, it was a new job. And as everyone knows, the new job is always challenging. I said, no, this is an opportunity for me to learn something new that it can help, and also it can also open doors for me, even though it was a hard work. But I said, no, I'm gonna take this opportunity to preserve and restore the heritage of Africa.
Yes, so I started working approximately in the same time as Freddy. We started at MEMORIST together. So he was working on the conservation side of the projects. I was doing the logistics of the projects. And so we had French experts from La Reliure du Limousin come in to explain the techniques, help source the material, and we faced many challenges. For example, we had load sheddings, so you have no electricity for several hours in South Africa, so we had to learn with this. There was the difficulty to find supplies, to find the blotting paper or the Japanese paper, the right glues in South Africa, and we had to explore different places throughout the country to find the right ingredients for the work to be done. So it's been a thrilling project with a lot of give and take, both from our local friends and the French experts from Brive who discovered the new country. They didn't speak English, so it was also a challenge for them to go and work in this country. The picture you see here is from the Iziko Museum drawing that was conserved, and it shows quite well the partnership and many different people working on the project, but working together in the right direction. And you can think that with many different people with many different origins and experience, it's difficult to make all this group work together on one document, but it finally worked quite well, and some of them had good ideas, and some had other good ideas, and it worked for the better. So it was a very good example of how we can work together and learn how to restore and conserve one's cultural heritage.
Well, and something that is priceless when we work with those people is to listen to things like that.
For everything that I've learned on preservation and the restoration of heritage, my future, I would love to promote an education for African people, not only in South Africa, but across the continent, on how to preserve and restore the heritage. Because what I've seen that the preservation and the restoration in Africa is forgotten. Some people, they don't think of preserving and restoring the heritage. They only think of today, but forgetting that that is the heritage of the continent. Because without those archives, you can't know how the history of Africa was. So that's my future.
So that's it, raising awareness and transmitting skills and working on community empowerment. That's it.
So now we're going to connect Freddy.
Hi, Freddy. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Great.
Salut Freddy.
So maybe you have some questions.
Bonjour Freddy, je suis Anne-Solène, je travaille au musée du Quai Branly.
Bonjour.
I'm just coming back to what you just said before. Maybe you said that. How many people were you able to hire locally for this project and for your activities, just to have a real notion of the work done with the local people?
We hired 4 people, 4 conservators, 3 from Congo and 1 from Angola, and also 2 people for digitization. When we started this project at UCT in 2022, like Théophile said, we worked on 11,000 documents that we were told to finish for 4 months, and it was a new skill for us. But we had a very good teacher from La Relais, Fabienne. She taught us how to restore the document, and we did work hand to hand as a work team with my team members, and we did a very great job at UCT. And after UCT, we were very impressed with the work that we were doing at the library, recovering documents and showing people the new skills. And in 4 months we finished, and they keep on renewing. But it was very sad for them to let us go in 2023 December. Like Theo has mentioned, it was because of the funding.
There were 6 people that we hired, 4 people for conservation, 2 on the digitization side. And they were working at UCT on site on the documents that were given to us.
Yeah, because actually this is something important. When we work in international countries, we generally work on site. We go with all the hardware, the machine, all that we need, our teams to transmit skills on site.
And we hired a 7th person who replaced me because I was living in South Africa for this project. And then when I left, came back to France, we hired a South African man called Kran Handik, who replaced me. So now MEMORIST is 7 people from different nationalities, because Freddy is from Congo. On the team, there are 3 South Africans, 1 lady who's from Angola, and 3 from Congo. But Freddy has lived for many years in South Africa. And in Cape Town, there's a high diversity of people from different countries, and it's a good challenge of having everybody work together, but it works quite well.
All right, well, thank you very much. Freddy, thank you for connecting with us. I'm so sorry that we couldn't speak more with you, but thank you for taking the time to be with us today. All right, thank you all.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.